Okay, so today we're tackling a massive idea, one that's right at the heart of what makes us human. It's called the superorganic. And honestly, it's the key to understanding how we created everything from our laws to our spaceships, all in a realm that's totally separate from our biology. Ready? Let's get into it.
I mean, just think about it for a second. In a little over 100 years, we went from the very first airplane to landing rovers on Mars. Our technology, our societies, our ideas, they all change at this unbelievable, blistering pace. But us, biologically, we're pretty much the exact same humans that walked the Earth thousands of years ago. So what's the deal? What's driving all this change if it isn't our genes?
Well, to answer that, we have to look at a completely different kind of evolution, one that plays by a whole different set of rules than our biology does.
So, rewind to the early 1900s. You've got all these brilliant minds scratching their heads over this exact problem. They knew that the classic ideas of evolution, survival of the fittest, slow genetic change, they just couldn't explain the explosive speed of human development. Something else had to be going on.
And this is where our main character comes in, an anthropologist named Alfred Kroeber. Now, he was a student of the legendary Franz Boas, a real pioneer. And Kroeber came along with this radical idea. He basically said, hey, what if there's this other powerful force shaping us that has nothing to do with our DNA?
He set up this amazing contrast between two distinct worlds, the organic and what he famously called the superorganic. So let's break down what he meant by that.
This really lays it all out, doesn't it? On one side, you have the organic. That's our biology. It's all about genetics, it's what we inherit from our parents, and it changes at a glacial pace. We're talking millennia. But then, on the other side, you've got the superorganic. This is the world of culture. All our ideas, our inventions, our knowledge, and it's all learned and shared. The best part? It moves at lightning speed.
So here's the bottom line. The superorganic is basically everything we create and pass on to each other as a society. It's not just a better spear. It's the invention of writing, which lets us store our knowledge outside of our own brains. It's the scientific method, which gives us a system for building on what others have discovered. It's like this massive collective inheritance that exists completely independent of any single one of us. It's a whole other layer of reality that we live in.
Now, if you really want to get inside Kroeber's head, there are some fascinating clues in his own writing. And this reveals a pretty cool little detail about how the words we use to talk about these big ideas can change over time. So in his game-changing paper from 1917, the one where he lays this all out, he makes a really interesting choice of words. If you read it today, something might jump out at you as being, well, a little weird.
Okay, get this. In the entire article where he's defining this new realm of human progress, he only uses the word culture 6 times. Just 6. So you have to be asking, what word did he use instead?
He used the word civilization 51 times. So, what's going on here? Was he talking about something completely different from what we'd call culture today?
Well, no, not really. And this is just a perfect example of how scientific language itself evolves. See, back then, civilization was the common, go-to term for this whole idea of social, non-biological progress. For Kroeber in 1917, culture and civilization were pretty much synonyms for anything that wasn't organic. It was only later in his work that he, and really the whole field of anthropology, started to zero in on culture as the more precise term we all use now.
Okay, so let's zoom back out. What's the big takeaway here? What are the really profound implications of this powerful idea?
This is the real heart of it all. Our ability to innovate, to solve huge problems, to build these complex societies. It doesn't have to wait around for our brains or our bodies to slowly evolve. We can progress because we can invent a new tool, or write a new piece of code, or discover a new law of physics, and then share it instantly. Our evolution is now social, not genetic. And that means our potential for change isn't limited by our biology anymore. It's limited by our imagination and our ability to work together. And I think Kroeber's own words from that paper say it best. Change happens through invention, through culture, totally separate from the slow march of biological evolution. That's a profound thought, isn't it? Our greatest strength as a species isn't in our genes, but in the world of ideas that we build and share. And that puts the responsibility for what comes next squarely on our shoulders. So, what problem are we going to solve next?